Design for children. It's everywhere. It's a business and a specialized field.
But design for special needs children, not so much. Meet a professor who, through his own autism, has disrupted design for special needs kids.
People with disabilities have to hack just to survive.
Do you consider yourself an advocate?
I'm not a designer by training or trade. I see myself as an autistic self-advocate. The slogan of the autistic self-advocacy community is nothing about us without us.
Nothing about us without us.
Which means we've got to be involved. We want support for our special needs. We actually have to make sure that people understand what our needs are and help us find ways to solve them. I'm an educator, and I'm the director of the Responsive Ecologies lab at Ryerson University. I'm also an associate professor of early childhood studies. I'm doing adaptive design. These are tools that change the way people interact socially by making it easier for an individual with special needs to really be there and be present and interact with others.
Sit down on your bum. There you go. Perfect.
Describe a couple of the things that you have designed. Tell me about the chair and explain why it looks the way it looks.
We built a corner chair, which is basically just 3 pieces of cardboard at specific angles, and we were told that the child needed to have back supported in a specific manner, where the hips would have contact and the shoulders would have contacts, but the spine itself would be free to move. And the goal was to help the child build core muscle strength. We got cardboard out of the trash, built a prototype of what we thought might work for $7, gave it to the child, and she was immediately able to use it and sit in the sandbox and play in the sand, interact with her friends like she'd never been able to do before.
What is it that's so exciting to you about using cardboard?
Rapid prototyping. I can build something with cardboard anywhere, anytime. Everybody's always got cardboard lying around. I need a knife and a little bit of glue, and I can make something up very, very quickly. If you're in the field and you just want to get something done now, cardboard's it.
That's amazing. That is really cool. Tell me about the rockers.
There's 2 types of rockers we work with. One was a very small rocker, and it was meant for a small child to be able to rock back and forth. Children with autism want to move more than they're allowed to move. And this sort of rocker, by moving back and forth, made it almost necessary to move. By changing the environment so that the chairs move, movement is not a strange thing anymore.
It's okay to move.
It's normalizing the environment. We're fixing the environment, not the individual. One person who said, I got problems with it. It's not suitable for me. It's an autistic adult. I want to build one myself, and I want to reflect the way I want it to be. So what she did is she took this design, rethought it. Instead of moving forward and backwards, it now moves side to side. This is a rocker for an adult.
Okay.
I want you to try it.
Okay.
If a chair rocks naturally, you're supposed to be rocking in it.
Yeah, it's actually more comfortable than I expected.
I got a story for you. Come check it out.
What is Jason doing that you think is so disruptive?
What he's doing is becoming that new voice of design and design activism.
What is that?
Design activism is commingling of critical theory and political philosophy. It's this conscious effort of aesthetics and ethics and combining those two, and that's where Jason fits in very nicely.
What's the problem with design as you see it?
The designer designs for herself, himself, designs for a specific audience that tends to be usually well-heeled or a mass-marketed audience, and I think there's a great place for that to continue. I'm just saying there's an underserviced community, at-risk communities, special needs communities, just non-rich Western communities that don't have a chance to see themselves as part of design, and designers really designed for themselves and their groups. What's disruptive is I'm relocating, in a sense, the focus or the location of power from a designer who's a great person who creates things for people to a child who has needs who may not be seen as an important person in society. The disruption is really shifting attention.
This is all incredibly exciting. What is it that's going to take it to that next level? Because it seems as though you're on the cusp of something.
It may not necessarily be that business model. It would be more like the NGOs that would come in, not-for-profits. And I think the future is in the not-for-profits because they're the ones who are going to allow this new voice. I would argue that the funding models have to be there in place. So at different levels in the university and community engagement, right up to national funding models that will support this kind of work because we're at that cusp right now.
Where's the role of the marketplace in all of this?
Some of the things we're building are very commercializable in a large scale. We're building modified versions of these designs as dollhouse toys so that children can actually have dollhouse toys that reflect disabilities. That can be marketed. We would be very happy if somebody wanted to market those and make them available. Yet at the same time, we're going to make our designs freely available on an open source license. We are hoping that people will set up sort of living wage economies or cottage industries around creating these for the community. The groups that I work with are groups that tend to be underrepresented in the design community, and I really think that's something that we can all start to focus more on. I'm Jason Nolan, and I disrupt disability design.